All right, guys. Fuller coming to you with another Guerrilla Boxing. This time it's a Guerrilla Boxing review. So, one of my guys, he recommended this. He was like, "Yo, you should get this. This thing actually is a game changer." And I really didn't think much of it, but I went ahead and I got it anyway. I'm like, you know what? I'll get it. No problem. I'll get it. And all I can say is that as this is the sad reality with boxing. I'm gonna say the sad reality with boxing. The sad reality with boxing is that repetition is so key in boxing that you'll have to repeat a thing maybe for years in order for you to actually master it and actually for it to click in a couple of seconds. Because, for example, you look at many sports endeavors like Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt trained for years to run for a couple of seconds. And I know that gets over people's heads, but when you look at the races he runs, the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and the 4 by 100-meter relay race, those races are under a minute when you combine the total combined time. Like you have basically 9 seconds with the 100 meters. You have you have 19 seconds around with the 200 meters. And then you have a split of 9 seconds with the 4 by 1. But yet he had to train vigorous and very hard to the point where he was throwing up when he was training. And, for better or for worse, that's kind of how it is with boxing. You may be working on something, and then finally it comes into full effect when you least expect it. And so I've always been a defense first type of guy. I always put my health and my safety before anything. But yes, I did take risk. I was the type that yes, I will take risk, but they would be calculated risk, right? In order to enhance that, though, I got this thing. And I know the lighting kind of doesn't make it visible, but this thing right here, which is called the Rival Bob and Weave. The thing is about this, you connect it to a bag, and it's designed for you to practice your head movement. Now, you would think that head movement is self-explanatory. You just do it. But, sometimes you get caught up in the moment in a fight and you kind of forget it. Sometimes you kind of forget it because you're in like seek and destroy mode. You're trying to go after the guy, right? That's usually what happens. But when it comes to actual muscle memory, there's no comparing to this thing, bro. This thing will drill your muscle memory to a point where everything, your slips, your evasion becomes second nature. Okay? It will literally become like second nature. It will literally become like I want to say it'll literally become an extension of your just like your overall boxing. Cause I noticed it in my sparring sessions that when punches are thrown at me, it's just second nature now for me to take that half step back, for me to slip out the way and things like that. And that's because of the muscle memory. And the crazy thing is they said this in a book that, in order for that to take place, you do have to build that neural muscular memory. and you're going to see it pay off in the long run. And that's exactly what has happened with me. So this is why I'm going to keep on using this. And yes, sometimes you don't want to carry it in your gym bag, but it is very much worth carrying it in there. Yes, it is long. Don't get me wrong. Like, this thing is long. You have to use this to tie it to the punching bag that you have, whatever gym you're going to be at. But yes, it does pay off. It pays off hella dividends. When I say muscle memory, okay? And when you have that muscle memory, right, what tends to happen is you become more composed. You become more composed, and with that composure, you're able to do more things. That's always been my coach's thing, is being composed, but you can never be too composed in a boxing match. So this just adds another layer of composure to the one that you already had. So out of 4 stars, I give this thing 4 stars. I recommend it. The only thing I would say is that sometimes when you hit the actual thing, it may get loose and it may kind of like fall down more. So in sometimes you want to like hit it because you want to keep it at nose length for your slips and things like that. But I will say, yes, get this thing. It is well worth it. It will it will take your defense to the right direction. Definitely when your coach is like monitoring you hit the bag, this can be an added element to it, because you'll naturally want to move your head when you see something in front of you. Whereas, like, I'm not saying you don't move your head when you don't have anything on your bag, but this kind of like makes it even more natural to do. And with that being said, go ahead and pick it up. I think it's not that expensive. I believe it's like it's not over $60. It's definitely not over $60. I think it's around $50 or so. It's not that much. But with that being said, Fula signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Unjarama.